Awesome. Okay, so we went over grouping like terms over the last little bit, and now we're going to move into solving equations because you're going to have to use like terms and also solve equations at the same time. So things are going to get progress a little bit more, but this is nothing new. This whole unit, guys, is all a review of grade 9. But again, for some of you haven't taken math in a year and a half, and for others, it was online, right? And truthfully, it was tough, okay, because there wasn't a lot of guidance, and it made things a little more difficult. So that's why we're going through all this stuff again, okay? So when we solve equations, so meaning that if we have a bunch of numbers on one side and we have an equal sign and then it's equal to something else on the other and we have some sort of variables, we need to get the variable by itself to figure out what it's equal to. So if the variable is a, we need it to eventually get to a equals a number. We got to figure out what a is equal to. And how we do that is we want to collect all the variables on one side and all the numbers on the other. But sometimes what we need to do is we need to do the opposite operation to bring stuff over the equal sign, okay? And you're going to see what I mean by that. So the method in which we do this is perform the opposite arithmetic operation. That's just math operation. That's a fancy word for that. And we try to get the variable by itself. So the opposite operation to addition is subtraction. The opposite operation to subtraction is addition. The opposite operation of multiplication is division. And the opposite of division is multiplication. Okay, so if we look at some of the examples, our job is to get the variable by itself. So what's the variable in that first example? Yeah, m. So we want m by itself. So to get m by itself, we need to get this over to the other side. And when we do that, we have to do the opposite operation. So if we're adding 6, what do we have to do then to it? Yep. We got to subtract it, right? So when we subtract 6 from this side and whatever we do to one side to the other, if we subtract 6, it gets rid of that. So then it would become 11 minus 6 on the other side, okay? So when we move it over, we just got to switch the sign, or we got to change the operation, okay? So it was adding on this side, subtracting on the other side. So then we would just go and solve that. It would be m equals 11 minus 6, which is 5, okay? Now our next one, what's our variable in that? P, right? Sorry, 2. Yeah, no problem. We're looking at that one. And we know that we want P by itself with the equal sign. So we want P equal to something. So we have a positive 4 or an adding 4. If we bring it to the other side, we're going to want to subtract it. So it's negative 5, subtract 4. And then in this case, we'd have P is equal to negative 9. Pretty straightforward. Next example, what's our variable we want to get by itself? X. Awesome. What do we got to move to the other side? The 8, right? We got to move this to the, we got to move that 8 to the other side, or negative 8. Since it's subtract 8, it becomes addition. So it's X equals 4 plus 8. X being 12. For question number 4, what's our variable? M. What do we need to move to the other side? The negative 5. It becomes, yep, we plus or become positive 5. So negative 12 plus 5. M is then equal to negative 7. Now, if I have a number beside a letter like I do right there. What does that mean? Yeah, it's multiplication, okay? So 2m means I'm multiplying m by 2. It's just like if I had a bracket like that. When we have two brackets beside each other, that means multiplication as well, right? We're on the same page there. So in this case, if I want to get m by itself, what's the opposite operation of multiplication? Division. So what I need to do is to get m by itself, I would go m. And if I want to move this to the other side, it becomes 10 divided by 2. Okay? And then m would be 5. Awesome. Okay, so our next one, we have negative 6n equals 42. What do we do? Yep. Awesome. So we want to get that to the other side. And since it's multiplication, we want to divide. So it's 42 divided by negative 6. Yeah, negative 7. Awesome. So n equal to negative 7. Pretty straightforward for the most part. All right, so we have y over 6. It's like a fraction, but that's division, right? So instead of it just being like a fraction, it's division. So in this case, we have y divided by 6 equals negative 4. So if I want to bring it to the other side, I have to. We do, exactly. So this becomes, to get this to the other side, we make that multiplication. So it would be y equals, exactly, negative 4 times 6, and then y would be equal to, awesome. Yeah, I just wrote the brackets there. You could have wrote it like, if you want. I just find when you have negative numbers, it's easier just to do that. And it also shows pretty much exactly how we wrote the 2m with the brackets. It just kind of makes things a little, in my opinion, a little cleaner, but that's just me. Okay, so we have n divided by negative 5 equals negative 6. We know when we have division, the opposite is multiplication. So it would be n equals what two numbers? Negative 6 times negative 5, and the answer would be 30, exactly. Two negative numbers. We did our integer work already. Boom. N equals 30. Boom. So